Hey guys, we're out again with the GS, and another beautiful day. I haven't posted in a while, and I figured, what the hell, time to make a new video. Been out busy with the race car, and haven't had time to do any videos, but I'm doing one now. And what to talk about today? Well, you guys can see from the title what I'm talking about. Which is the better bike, the KTM Multistrada, the Ducati Multistrada, the KTM Super Adventure, or the GS? And I know everybody's done these videos, lots of people done it, professionals have done these videos, but I'm going to do it in a little different perspective, as far as just like I always say, the average guy, but coming from not ridden either the Multistrada or the KTM. So, I mean, how can you give a good review, or not a review, but how can you say which is the better bike if you haven't ridden the other two? Well, I'm just going to go by the people that I watch with the KTM, and there's a couple of individuals I watch, kind of like, I guess you could say they're kind of professional YouTubers, maybe not, I don't know, but I think they're more average guys, and what their perspective are on the bikes, and compare it to what my perspective on this bike is, and you guys all know it. And the factor, there's two things that the GS has that the Multistrada and the KTM don't have, and that's obviously is the shaft drive and the telelever suspension. Those two things alone is what I think makes the GS a better bike. Now, yeah, the Multistrada is faster. It's got more top speed. Same with the KTM. The KTM is faster, more top speed. In fact, the KTM is probably, I would say that the Multistrada and the GS, if you want to compare them as far as performance, acceleration, I think the GS might out accelerate it up to 100, and then the Multistrada would be faster. It would just walk away from it, as just from the data that I've seen. And then when it comes to the KTM, well, the KTM has the torque and the horsepower, so I think the KTM is just a winner all around as far as outright performance. But when you're buying a motorcycle, I'm the guy that loves, you know, horsepower and performance, but it's hard for me to I guess if I ridden the KTM I might think differently, but the ride quality of the GS and the maintenance, the less maintenance you have to do, especially when you're using it for touring and going on longer trips, not having to worry about a chain, any chain maintenance. I think that's, I don't know, some people don't think it's a big deal, but I think it's a big factor. Now, you know, I don't mind working on my bike, but, you know, I don't want to stop every 300 miles and have to, you know, carry my, you know, the lube, to lube the chain, clean it, and all that stuff. That's just a headache that I don't want to do when I'm cruising, because I just want to concentrate on cruising and enjoying the ride, not saying, oh, geez, there's another couple hundred miles, I got to get back to chain maintenance. Where when you have the GS, you have none of that. Now you're giving up a little bit of performance because you're losing a little bit of horsepower through the shaft drive, but this bike is pretty fast. And I know I've always said this before, that, you know, I always like horsepower, but I just said it a couple of minutes ago, but or maybe I'm just making excuses, but I just think the GS is the better bike. I think it's the better bike of the three. Now, I'm not counting the Triumph, because the Triumph, the new 1200, has a shaft drive. It doesn't have the telelever suspension, but it's new, and I don't know anybody that's really had it for a while. And I've done a lot of research on the Multistradas and the KTMs, and you know, those bikes are pretty well sorted out of what they can do and what their potential is. And, you know, I guess when I think about these bikes, and maybe more so the Super Adventure, the KTM, is that's really a performance bike I mean, hardcore performance bike as far as I'm concerned, than this type of, adventure type style bike. I mean, it does it all. It's very, very fast. It handles really well. Guys track the bikes. Guys go off-roads with the bikes. But your skill level for the average guy that's on these bikes is not going to push a KTM to its limits. I watched that guy. I think his name is Chris from Bike World. The guy's phenomenal. He likes the KTM over the GS for all-out performance, even though he likes the GS overall better. It's because when he pushes the bike into a turn, or even in the dirt, whether it's whatever, just a road, a paved road or a dirt road, he says he gets more feedback because of the forks. With, as you hit the brakes, you get the dive, and you just feel that the tire's planted more. But how many of us really do that? I know I don't do that. And so, so was it like 2% of all owners of all three of these bikes are proficient enough to take it on a track and just get every little bit out of it? Where the telelever supposedly leaves a little bit vagueness. So I don't know if it's the proper word is vagueness. But it's not as precise, which I don't find because I don't have the skill level. I've talked that many times that I only can ride to my skill level, and this bike I can't push it to its skill level. I mean, to its maximum potential. So I don't know. So that's why I think that this bike is probably the better bike. I just think that the suspension-wise, I think it's a better overall bike for the average rider. And I think it's a better bike as far as if you're touring with the bike and you want to, it's an all-around great bike. You don't have to worry about doing any chain maintenance. And then, when you're panic stopping this bike, you have no nosedive. Now, these other bikes do have, I think they do have you can program how much, resistance you have for the nosedive and stuff. I think it has it in there. I don't know if it's automatic or you have to set it, but you still get nosedive because, it's got a lot of suspension trouble. It's not going to act like a telelever suspension. So that's just my, kind of feeling that the GS, I know I'm biased and I love the bike and I'm always praising the bike, and, we got lots of miles going on this bike and it's trouble-free and blah, blah, blah. And I know some people don't agree with it. In fact, I got a couple of dislikes for my 15,000 mile review because there's always somebody who's not going to like this bike. No matter what you say, because maybe they had a bad experience or they just read someplace something. But I still think, overall, I think the GS is the better all-around bike. Even with performance, you're sacrificing a little bit of performance, and it's basically top-end performance. From 0 to 100, these bikes are pretty much equal. And it's just, I guess, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of it and not be acting like such a fanboy to the bike, having more of a perspective, open mindedness on all the bikes. And I'm just looking at everything about all these bikes, and I just think the other bikes are just don't have what this bike has. And I mean, like I said, if you own a KTM and a Multistrada, you're gonna love it. And I don't go with all those people that some people complain about the Multistrada and the KTM. Oh, it's got issues here, issues. I take all the issues with all these bikes with a grain of salt, because most people complain. You'll hear people complain more than people praise. So I don't, unless I experience one, I'm not gonna down it. I think they're great bikes. I like the way they look. The Multistrada has that Italian Ducati look. The KTM has that this typical KTM look, but that off-road hardcore look. And I guess the GS maybe is more of a gentleman-like bike, even though they look very similar in a lot of ways to the average Joe that not even a motorcycle enthusiast might say, oh, they all look the same. But yeah. So I don't know. Let me know, guys. What do you think? Is the Multistrada the KTM Super Adventure, the Ducati Multistrada, and then you have the GS, the 1250 GS. Which you think is the better bike? I mean, the overall better bike. Not to say, okay, the KTM is a much better off-road bike, or the Multistrada is a much better highway bike, a much better handling bike. I just want to think what you guys think of what the overall bike. And if money's no object, obviously I think the Multistrada is the most expensive. I do really like the Pikes Peak, but man, that's a pricey bike. I think it's $28,000 for a more sporty touring bike. I don't know. I want to keep it. Any bike I buy, I like to keep it in the $20,000 range tops, maybe 22. This type of bike when you want something that's all around touring and stuff like that. And the KTM I think is priced right. And but like I said, let me know what you guys think. And you guys already know what I think. So it's just kind of a short video. I just wanted to ride today. It's just beautiful. It's 75 degrees, and I just felt like cruising. I just got back from racing, and I just chilling out on the bike. I did get I did get a flat tire. I don't know if that has anything to do with this topic, but it didn't. I was just looking at the bike, and I didn't get a flat. I was just looking at the bike, checking things out, and I see a nail in it. I didn't think it could go in all the way. Well, I pulled the nail out, and it started leaking. So I had a plug kit, plugged it up, and it seems to be fine. It's a shame, 2,000 miles on a tire, I got to put a plug in it, but that's the way it is. Not a big deal. I wonder what you guys plug tires on the road, or I happen to be in my garage when it happened. But do you guys carry anything spare? You carry any spare? Like I have a plug kit with me, and I have a little compressor with me, a little tiny thing, maybe I don't know, 3 inches by 4 inches, and so if you get a little flat, you don't have to worry about your friend picking you up. And you can just fix it on the road. So yeah, that's my first. I guess I could say that's my first. It happened in the garage, but it could have happened on the road. But that's my first kind of issue with all the bikes I've had. In the last 3 years. The new ones, whatever, blah blah blah. This is the first one I really had an issue with, as far as something happening that it's nothing to do with the bike itself, but always something happen. I hate to get a flat on my on my Speedmaster, because it's got a tube in it, and that would be a pain in the ass. So I'd be stuck. I'd have to call a buddy. I'd love to get some aluminum wheels for that, but they're so expensive. I think I've talked about that before. So where are we going? We're not going anyplace special. I'm just cruising around, and I just figured I'd throw that guys at you. What do you think is the best all-around adventure bike? I know the Triumph now supposedly is a contender now with the GS. It's got the shaft drive. It's pretty cool. I think it's nice looking, and it's priced right. But the jury's out, because we have to wait to see, the average guy. Like I said, I don't mind looking at videos, because I do look at the videos that are professional YouTubers and reviewers, but I really want to see it from an average guy, because I think just you get a more real feel for the bike itself. And some guys complain about little things, other guys, I don't complain about the little things. I mean, to me, those are irrelevant things to just complain about. When guy complaining about the switch gear, or this is a major problem with switch gear. I know some people in the KTM say the switch gear is not up to par, but I don't know. I sat on the KTM, switch gear seemed fine to me. It's not, some of them it's not intuitive, but you get used to stuff like that. If you're testing a lot of bikes, you're not going to get used to the thing in an hour, so that doesn't really mean much to me. So yeah, so that's it, folks. So I don't know, I'll have another, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow I'm supposed to go out with my buddy, with his Jixis, his Suzuki, and a friend of mine's son wants to learn how to ride a bike, and I'm going to put him on my, well, I might put him on the Grom, my buddy's Grom, or I'd like to put him on my KLX Supermoto, and I mean, he can ride a scooter, so he has an idea, but he's just never really ridden with a clutch before, you know. But he really wants to learn bad, so we're going to be out doing that tomorrow. So hopefully I can put the camera on, and you know, we'll see how it goes. We'll have some fun, and I have my headset set up where I think we can hear all three of us talking, so it should be fun. We'll see what happens. It may not happen, but they're out doing something today. Tomorrow they want to ride, so it's supposed to be a beautiful day tomorrow, 80 degrees here in North Carolina, and so that should be fun. And one of these days I'm going to take this turn about 40, but that's one of my favorite turns, but I'm just not sure. Sometimes, you know, when you're on a road like this, you don't know if there's loose gravel and stuff like that on the road, or, you know, a lot of times dump trucks around here all the time doing construction, and they'll put some stuff out on the road. That you can easily go down there. So would I go through that turn about 35, 37, whatever, but it's a dog leg. So all right guys, that's it. Just like I said, just cruising around, and just give me your thoughts. What do you think? I think the GS is the best all-around bike. Am I wrong? Am I just a fanboy? All right, talk to you later guys.